The live-action Transformers movies, even with all their faults, did have some really good toys. Whether you're talking about a specific movie toy line, studio series, or other spin-off lines, you're often going to find some high-quality figures. While everybody has their personal favorites, today we're going to be talking about my favorite pairs of specialists, hunt for the Decepticons Autobots Seaspray and Breacher, as well as their Decepticon counterparts, Mindwipe and Skystalker. While it may seem like a lot to talk about 4 figures in one video, these dashing duos both have interaction between their Voyagers and Scout class partners, making it important to talk about them together. At least in my eyes. Starting off, let's take a look at the Autobot Coast Guard combo and their alt modes. The Voyager Seaspray turns into a military-style airboat with a vehicle bay in the rear, featuring an overall cool color profile of blue and white with gold highlights. It features clear blue windows, details picked out in silver paint, and spring-loaded harpoon launchers ready to treat any Decepticon like Moby Dick. The final feature of this alt mode is the vehicle bay in the back, which facilitates the super cool epic partner gimmick of Breacher just kinda sitting there. Which is a convenient segue into talking about Breacher himself, a small blue APC with dual-barreled cannons on the front. Several details are picked out in silver to highlight the militaristic profile of this little war machine, and looking from the back you can see some red highlights to show off the tail lights and the rear warning lights for the turret. The turret itself can rotate a full 360 degrees and aim up to around 80 degrees. The cannon itself is attached with a C-clip mechanism, so you can have the vehicle with or without the firepower. And here's some size comparisons with some other movie bots. Now that we're done looking at the mechanistic marines, let's take a look at some vampires. The larger of these surveillance-focused cons is Mindwipe, a Voyager-class bot that turns into an approximation of the Lockheed Martin F-117 Nighthawk stealth attack aircraft. Very fitting alt mode for an evil bloodsucker. This harsh angled jet features a smoky gray paint job with deep purple highlights. The jet also features silver Cybertronian text on the wings, blood red windshield, adjustable tail fins, and 2 ports on the top for Skystalker to plug into. Alright, elephant in the room? I may have lied. This is not Skystalker. It's actually Laserbeak. The Japanese exclusive GDO line featured several repaints of figures into characters, such as Breacher in a Brawl, or in this case, Skystalker into Laserbeak, and oh my goodness is this thing gorgeous. Our favorite spy bird turns into a UAV surveillance drone with a lush red and silver paint over a matte black base. He features a shiny gold cockpit with a silver camera, detailed surface greebling, and uncommon for movie toys, royal purple Decepticon badges. And here's some comparison with some Decepticon movie toys this time. Now moving on to transformation, it's a pretty stock standard affair all around. All 4 of these have some mildly tedious bits, but as long as you don't try to force anything, you'll be fine. One thing to note is that the 2 Decepticons both feature a little bit of automorph. Moving straight on into the robot modes, we can see that all 4 of these lads are wonderful looking, covered in that Bayverse detail while also not going too overboard like the designs from the movies do. Starting in reverse order this time, Skystalker here is absolutely deserving of that Laserbeak repaint. Their bird-like features make for a truly creepy looking profile. The wings from the alt mode become an almost cloak-like deal in the back, which are also the sheaths for the 2 battle hooks. The hooks can either peg into the hands or clip onto the bar wrists. Moving down, their giant silver boots made out of the jet engines and spring-loaded bird feet hold them up well enough, and off-kilter knees make for dynamic posability. Speaking of which, the arms can do a full 360 and go out that far, 90 degrees at the elbow, ball joint and hinge joint at the neck, ball joints at the hips make for full leg movement, and the side-placed knees can go all the way around. Finally, the feet can hinge up and down, but you won't really get much use out of it due to the springy feet. Pegs that allowed him in the vehicle mode to attach to the top of Mindwipe can be used again to attach to Mindwipe's arm. Speaking of, Mindwipe is a fabulously macabre robot, with daggered legs, bulky arms, broad chest, and piercing eyes behind the visor of his masked facade. Located on the back of the arms, the pieces of the cockpit can flip out into underslung daggers sculpted out of more of that beautiful blood-red plastic. For articulation, he also features a hinge and ball joint neck combo, universal shoulders on soft ratchets, double jointed elbows that you can really only get to 90 degrees, universal joints at the hips that can go all the way, over 90 degree knees, separate hinge to let the feet go up or down, another hinge at the ankle, and a tilt at the ankle as well. Here's some comparisons with the Decepticons from before, and now let's move on to the Autobots. Breacher is a squat little soldier boy with green eyes and a strangely anime looking face. All of his vehicle components compressed to make really cool looking armor and expose some decent detail, like the vent shoulders or the highlights in the arms and the legs. The cannon from the alt mode can be placed on any of the bars in the arms or the bars in the back. In robot mode, he unfortunately loses any partner power with Seaspray, final part of the video. Seaspray here is clearly modeled after a scuba diver with the mask, boat rotors acting as mock air tanks, and actual flippers. His harpoon launchers stay in the same spot as they were in vehicle mode, they're just 5mm pegs, so they can be removed and given to any other compatible figure. He has his name plastered on his chest right next to a silver Autobot logo, and what really brings this whole design together? The Golden Diaper! For articulation, Seaspray is probably the second most posable, right behind Skystalker. He features a swivel at the neck as well as a hinge so he can look all the way up, 360-degree ratchets that do end up getting blocked by the backpack, hinge at the shoulder, elbows that go all the way, ratcheted universals at the hip so that he can go most places you need him to, 90-degree knee bend, a below-the-knee swivel that's at an angle due to transformation, in and out ankle pivots, and a hinge that lets the feet go down. Here these two are with some Autobot compatriots. Overall, these figures are an absolute treat. All four of them are posable, detailed, fun to transform, and just provide a great rivalry on a shelf. I love all of these guys, and I think if you can find them for a reasonable price... Yeah, I said reasonable. They're very much worth the pickup. Well, I've been Nick, and thank you for watching.
Ro-Tor Linq.